On our Wastepreneur segment this week, we feature a distinguished young man whose track record has reserved him a space in the marketing communication industry. The story of this fine gentleman is a tale of if you can think it, you can achieve it. For some reasons best known to him, he did not attend a university, but those who attended the university come to him for trainings and professional advices. Daviid Idagu, in all modesty, is a success story. He told us stories of how he moved from being broke some years ago to owning a company of his own and employing people to work for him. He is a professional member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and he owns a PR academy where he trains and mentors people on public relations, marketing, and many more. He prides his company Disrupt as a marketing communication lab and not an agency. David is 6 feet tall. He is very hardworking, focused, and dependable. If only because of David, it is safe to say that Nigerian youths are not lazy.
My name is Idagu David. I'm the founder, CEO of Disrupt. Disrupt is a marketing communication lab, a creative lab that works with brands to create marketing solutions for them. We provide solutions in public relations, sales, digital, as well as branding. That's what we are at Disrupt. First and foremost, we do not consider ourselves an agency. We actually see ourselves as salespeople who understand the concept of marketing, of public relations, of branding. Because the reality is that sales, marketing, public relations are just a means to an end. The end is to increase the bottom line, is to make sales happen, is to make profit for the organization. So we think in terms of the end result, the pain point for clients, as against thinking in terms of creating strategies and branding, because all of those things will not matter if we do not provide the end result for clients. First and foremost, I love the fact that I am able to help brands with my team solve their problems. So that's what I find interesting. So coming up, solving problems is something I find very interesting. When I'm able to provide a solution, and this solution is adding money to the accounts of the customers we're working with or the clients we're working with, that for me creates excitement, and that is what I find interesting. So like I said earlier, marketing, advertising, or sales are means to an end. So advertising is supposed to achieve an end result. So it doesn't matter how the ad is created. If it doesn't achieve the end result, then that ad may not be considered effective. It can be interesting, it can be funny, it can be creative. But creativity without achieving the end result at the end of the day means nothing. So for me, an advertising that is considered effective will be that advertising that gets people to take action in favor of the objective of the advertising or the person who put out the ad. So now, what part of this would I be able to say now in 15 minutes? Anyways, the thing is, entrepreneurship for me have started, I would say, over a decade. I ventured into entrepreneurship in 2009 or 2010. That's when I left paid employment and I decided to go all into this whole game called entrepreneurship. And it's been an interesting as well as challenging, ups and downs. But if there's anything I've learned in this journey of entrepreneurship, is the fact that it gives you self-confidence when you're able to achieve results, and it helps you to think independently. The fact that you're able to provide solutions and make money out of it creates a sense of confidence that you can do even more. For me, the most important education anyone can get is self-education. Education that you are part and you are active in the process of what you want to learn. So having not attended the 4 walls of university doesn't mean I did not get admission and all of that. However, I did not go through the process. I know that self-education has been the basics upon which I've built whatever skills I've acquired, and that I believe is the most effective form of education, one that the person wanting to learn is active in the process and seeking to know, as against waiting for someone to come provide that information for you. There are so many experiences I'll never forget, but I also would remember periods that I have nothing in my bank account, probably also most likely will have to sleep hungry. But the confidence level I had was one that you think I had like all the millions in my account. And the reason being that I believe in the fact that consistency and perseverance always pay. So irrespective of the fact that I may not have what it takes in terms of resources, I always believe that once you have the belief and the capacity and the determination to want to keep fighting, nothing is going to stop you. So those experiences of not having but still feeling like I had is things I will not forget, and it's things that keep me going irrespective of the challenges. I will not be caught sleeping. How do they say it? Like when they say Jima soon. I will not be caught sleeping when I need to work. I will never be caught. I always show up. So I'll never be caught not showing up. That's one thing I'm very certain about. I always will show up. I will show up. So I'll never be caught. So if you hear that Idagu David did not show up, that's not me. That could be somebody else impersonating. I always show up. Control everything within within the capacity of my control. What I mean here is the fact that not allowing people's decision or not putting my trust in the fact that people need to do things for me. I learned these lessons a couple of years ago when I said to myself, when I got disappointed by one of my family members I was relying on, I made a decision that I was going to rely only on myself and the Supreme Being. And that's the best decision I've ever made in my life. So I go into any problem, any challenge without expecting any person to be there. I go in, I'm a one-man soldier, that's what I'm saying. And I also need soldiers. But I say, I go into any situation without expecting that I'm going to get help. That way, I plan for all circumstances and I get ready. I would work as, when you mean 9 to 5, maybe I'm working for the government as maybe a senator, or I'm working for the country in a very, very serious, maybe as a minister or something. Then maybe you can consider that 9 to 5. Otherwise, every other job I would do has to be a consulting job. I don't mind going into organizations, but in fact, the concept of 9 to 5 is counterproductive. I don't believe in 9 to 5 as a concept. So even if I go to any job, I never will work 9 to 5. I will work when the job is available to be done and when it needs to be when it needs to be completed. So 9 to 5 in itself is not something I believe in. First and foremost, you're on your own. Secondly, it's going to be hard. Thirdly, it's going to be hard. So you just need to, brace up yourself and make a decision. Now, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Money is not the game. What the game is, it has to be a long-term thing, something that is bigger than you. So I think my advice to entrepreneurs will be, define a purpose for your business at the moment. And when you have a purpose that is bigger than you, then you would be willing to wake up even on those mornings where you feel like, man, I'm tired, I don't want to go out. The risks, well, I don't believe in the fact that any action I take is a risk. I believe in, because I don't believe in the concept of failure. So any action I need to take, I take. If I fail, then because I don't believe in the concept of failure, if it doesn't work out, then it's a learning journey. So it's really not a risk. It's I've taken certain actions that have taken me out of my comfort zone. I don't consider them a risk. I just consider them as something that has pushed me off my comfort zone. I've done a couple of those things, like moving into entrepreneurship, things like expending money to build a business, spend money for certain things, building a business. Those are things that move me out of my comfort zone. They are not necessarily risk. They are things I need to do and I have to do.